What's up, gamers, gamers, and gamettes? My name is John, and welcome back to a Light in the Dark. Last time, basically, we were playing Demo Man, and I was freaking choosing the choices and all the other stuff to get to this point. This is where after, like, under the scenery, moonlight, the cogwheel started spinning. That's when the demo ended, and then it showed the movie PV and stuff. But last time, basically, there's no turning back to our kidnapper, man. Is she gonna get the money, or are we gonna escape? I don't know. We're gonna find out right here for right now. I'm sorry if it took this long to freaking get this video up, so let's get to it. Transition. Is it gonna show the movie? Oh, it does that. Alright. Dots. Dots. The girl opened the phone. The screen flashed the time 3 a.m. There was only steady breathing in the room. The boy couldn't resist the desire to sleep after all. Oh, with the narrator now. It's the money you want, right? Is there really no other way? Remember his words, the determination in his eyes, surprise, her expectation. Perhaps he wasn't as useless as she thought. Heh. There was no regret in her decision, only a vague note of ironic sadness. Never until this moment had anyone cared what she wanted, trying to convince her not to break the law. No more. One should take responsibility for one's life, or don't keep asking someone to help you. There was no return. Either she will get the money and pay the debt, or get arrested instead. The girl raised her head and looked into the starry sky, standing next to the window like a statue. The stars sparkled like the unsettling mind. Finally, she breathed out quietly.
Worst case scenario, I would have just died with him.
What? Who's him? The quiet voice of the girl evaporated in the room, along with the cigarette smoke. I really love the track of this. I love the seriousness as well, too, in the story that's been developed. Oh, and this is where I freaking save. Alright, day 3, Gape Between Us. This is going to be probably long for me to do, I'm not going to lie. Let's do this. Save. Continue, biatch. Day 3, morning. Alright. So cold. I opened my eyes in a daze. From outside of the window, the sunlight splattered across the floor, but even that wasn't enough to remove the gloominess in the room. I tried to stretch my body. The sunlight failed to dissipate the cold, and the freezing air made me shudder. Oh yeah, that reminds me of Colombia a bit. Day 3. I was getting used to the room's moldy smell, but this night was still too cold to sleep properly. My stomach burned from starvation. Not only did I feel worse physically, but mentally as well. Dots. After letting me prove my identity through the call, she took the phone outside to prevent me from listening to their conversation. About 10 minutes later, she returned and lit a cigarette. Smoke permeated the air. There was no way for me to know what they had discussed, and all my questions got in response. Father's voice through the phone sounded plain as always. He was more skeptical than nervous. Even after a few questions, he still didn't believe I was kidnapped. I tried to tell him my status, but my phone got taken away before he could make any sense out of it. Maybe he couldn't even recognize his own son. I laughed ironically, despite my chest being burdened by unease. So, what now? Facing the gray ceiling, I tried filling something out. Try to escape. Try to communicate. Let's try to communicate, mate. I mustn't give up. Rather than not taking the risk to escape, I should try to convince them. After hanging out with them during the past few days, I had learned that they weren't difficult to communicate with. I just hope it wasn't just an illusion. Excuse me. Dots. Oh, it's this freaking silent girl again. Hello. It's been a while. I looked around the room and found a little girl sitting next to the wall, surrounded by books from God knows where. The big sis was gone. Based on the door sound I heard, she probably left around early morning. What time is it? ... I asked her. She poked her head out from behind the book. This question should be fine for her to answer, right?
7.
So early. I never expected time to pass this slowly, especially when I used to be able to sleep until noon and just skip breakfast. I was so bored that I even felt bewildered by the situation. They say time connects with emotion. Time under happiness flies, while time under pain lasts forever. There was this sci-fi novel that I read before. I couldn't recall most of the details, but one specific part left quite an impression. It was a nation with special punishment. They paralyzed criminals' bodies but kept their consciousness intact. Then the criminals were left in the cell. All they can do was think. Think through eternity without connection with the outside world. With life support, they could still breathe, but only breathe. I finally understood what was the intriguing concept would feel like after experiencing myself. When you couldn't move your limbs in pain, hunger stood out like a sore thumb. All my attempts to break free failed, and the knot was still tight as ever. Who knew the rope could be this durable? There was a counterfeit butter and put in the market, yet the rope was still this sturdy. The government really should award this sort of top-notch manufacturing. Cough, cough. My train of thought only led to another headache, along with my sore throat. Could it be that I caught a cold? Should I reserve my energy or try to talk to her? I say we should rest, dude. Because you're gonna get sick and stuff. I forced myself to close my eyes in order to rest and replenish my energy. Oh, cool, I got my stamina. Cool. ... Anything to eat? I tried to chat with her on a different subjects, hoping to figure out some intel. Crackers again. Yep, I knew it. Oh, steam bun. Never mind. She rustled around and took out a half steam bun, then placed it next to me quietly. Crackers first, now steam buns? They were all cheap foods with long shelf life, yet lacked of appetizing value. The outside was dry, like an air-dried tangerine skin. It wasn't quite hard to chew, and I couldn't barely taste anything in my mouth. I swallowed it down with water and started to miss the American brunch from the few days ago. The craving made me sigh in despair.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, it would be much better if there was a fried egg with pepper. ... Oh, she has a shocked face now. She stared at me surprised and only opened her mouth a little while later. You know how to cook? Yeah, I do. Oh, I can teach you how to cook. Sort of, just simple stuff. I always had some simple ingredients ready since I lived alone. If I was lazy, I just cooked some instant noodles plus a fried egg and called it a meal. Most of the time, I just put everything from the fridge into in the crock pot. I didn't really care as long as they were cooked and filling. What? Is it strange? Seeing her hesitation there, I asked.
I thought you had someone cooking for you and bringing meals to your room every day.
Oh, come on, don't be biased.
Like a butler.
You've watched way too many soap operas. I didn't stay in a hotel with that kind of service or anything. My breakfast is usually just a sandwich, bread, or onigiri. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. From the breakfast shop, like regular folks.
Oh.
Realizing how much mundane my breakfast was, she responds disappointedly. Did she think of me as some playboy millionaire from the movie who spent all day long in bars to hook up with chicks?
How about tea parties?
Okay. Right before I could explain myself, she threw me another ridiculous question. Tea parties? I repeated the words and confirmed that I didn't hear wrong upon seeing her nodding. Okay, so if my ears still function, I didn't misunderstand her. She was referring to a traditional British afternoon tea. Like those things with 3 layers from the bottom to the top that had sandwiches, scones, and cakes. You tasted them in that order too. Taste aside, that just sounded like a giant pain in the ass. Never tried it. I didn't even heard of it that often.
In a magazine, they said rich people invited friends over with a lot of food and tea.
Right. I know what tea party means.
So, no tea party for you?
I like her expression in this thing. It's pretty funny. She's trying to say, so no tea party for you. I don't know. Nope. Ignoring her curious look, I replied without hesitation.
Why?
Making tea and buying cake is a ton of work, and you have to clean up the mess after inviting people over. Too much trouble. I didn't even talk to my family much, so the whole idea of us having a happy afternoon tea time was just unimaginable. Excuse me.
No one prepares it for you?
No one hired someone just to make tea. For this sort of luxury stuff, wouldn't be more convenient to have it in some cafe? She quietly lowered her head as though pondering my words. Do you by chance think my house is some fancy mansion with many servants and all I need is to do is ring a bell? She probably was thinking that or something. Oh dear. I was just kidding, but based on her reaction, I was right. I live by myself in a 300 square foot condo. I do own I do my own laundry and cleaning, plus chasing the garbage truck to throw away the trash from time to time. I know the feeling on that.
But aren't you rich?
My dad is, not me. It might make no difference for them, but I corrected her nonetheless. Also, being rich and being wasteful are 2 different things. One should do one should do things by oneself if possible. Excuse me.
Why?
Why what? The quiet girl started to talk and asked me question after question with much curiosity. Unlike her big sis, there was no hatred or mockery in her eyes, just pure curiosity.
If I had money, I would live in a big house and hire many people to cook and clean.
Is that so? For me, I just need a place big enough to live. I didn't even have that many friends, so what was the point of all these fancy desires? Besides, the bigger the house, the harder to clean. Hiring someone to do it would be extra expenses. Yeah, exactly. There was no point in troubling myself like that. Yo, I just need fucking bleach, fabulosa, fucking Windex clean, a mop, a damn cloth, scrubbers, sponges. That's all I need to clean, man. Oh yeah, also like a sweeper and stuff, and a dustpan and whatnot, and like damn cutting grasses and whatnot too. Like it's a bunch of stuff, man. Just I like my house clean and sparkly and getting dust out of there. I don't like the dust around shit. Like let's just leave it at that. I like it clean. I don't like it dirty. If they did everything for you, then what would you do? That is a good freaking answer. You replied, main character. I forgot his name. I can't pronounce it though. I mean, I can't say it, but I can't pronounce it. It's Hang something. She stumbled slightly upon my question. Clearly, it had never crossed her mind before.
Just rest.
Rest forever? If you have everything done for you, you will become nothing but a useless waste of space. Oof. Dots. She tried to explain, but lowered her head like a wrecking ball.
I don't know.
Dots. Suddenly, I understand the source of all these deep-rooted amenities, false imagination. For them, I enjoy a comfortable life with no effort, while they got trapped in poverty despite their best efforts. Envy and depression accumulated and eventually turned into anger and hatred. False imaginations came from all rumors and media portrayal, picturing the rich people crashing into others while drunk or high after having crazy parties. At the end of the day, the media just wanted to excuse me. The media just wanted to provocative news.
Fancy car killing someone, always
More marketable than cheap-ass one cousin it. Integrity has nothing to do with wealth. There is no lack of rich people leading a rather simple life. You just never see them in the news. They do whatever they can to produce things people want to see. That is fucking true. Oh my god. This is why I love this novel. It spits out some truth bombs right here. Public media code of integrity. That doesn't mean jack shit in the audience-driven era. What about the truth? Neither the journalists nor the audience care. We see what we want to see. Despite knowing this full well, we still choose not to resist it. Transition. So what now? Remaining. Let's observe. Let's see what else can we look. Okay, no, that's the book. We already saw that. Is there anything else I can look at? Jacket? No. You know what? Let's just talk to her. I don't see anything at all, to be honest. I really don't. So what now? Alright, let's try chatting with her then. Young girl. So cold. Why me? What do you picture me as? Name me that. What do you picture it? You really believe in her? Let's go as what do you picture me as then? Fuck it. What do you picture me as? Having no idea how much they misunderstood, I couldn't but help ask. Her answer was surprisingly simple.
a rich person?
Remembering all the past conversation, I sighed helplessly. I think you must have quite a misunderstanding about rich people. Rich people aren't all bad people. Dots. She looked at me silently, not really believing me. Try to judge yourself. I don't know what the news you've seen or what your big sis has told you that makes you think all the rich people are bad. But what have I actually done? Do you think everything she said is true? We might trigger her. Shit. Try to judge it for yourself with your own eyes. I tried to convince her subtly. If she could understand, then perhaps I could get her out without much risk.
I don't know.
She refused my glance, and I didn't want to hear more from me. I sighed lightly. If I couldn't change her mind right now, then I had to wait for another chance. So what now? Remaining acts. Alright, let's chat one more time. Young girl. Let's see where she go. Let's ask her. Where did she go? Where did your big sis go?
I don't know.
Well, that was stupid. I tried to start a conversation and still made no progress. Don't you care at all?
Big sis told me to guard you and that she would be back soon.
The girl calmly lowered her head as though living in her own world without one bit of anxiety or guilt as a criminal. Aren't you afraid?
Afraid of what?
Oh my god, that face. Of being found out by the cops. Let's go with the cops. What if the cops find you? Saying, I don't know, won't cut it. She pressed her lips and said nothing. There was some hesitation in her expression when she stared at me. With how advanced technology has become, there's surveillance cameras everywhere. It's only a matter of time before they find out. No matter how good your big sister is, she wouldn't be able to protect you by that point. She tried to open her mouth, but paused a little, and then swallowed the words. Give it some thought. It seemed like she did care, but somehow suppressed her anxiety. Compared to her big sis stubbornness, she might let me go if I pressured her more. So what now? Just one more time. You really believe her? I don't know. I mean, she would say yes. You know what? I know this is gonna be dumb to waste, but before I even get, I used to, like from the demo, there used to be 4 remaining acts, but then they cut it down to 3 options and the limited time with choosing thing. Just letting you guys know. And some of the wording has changed as well too, but I didn't want to like record that and stuff because I already went through all that. Let's go with the books that she has right here. Let's talk with her about that. There's quite a variety of books, ranging from magazine reference books to even cookbooks. Only thing they share in common is their poor condition. A theory of justice, the Lucifer effect. Quite a few things I never heard of. They might be some used books picked up from somewhere. You really like reading, don't you? There we go. Yes. She had been reading at the corner for a few days now. She had changed to another book after finishing one and never get bored throughout the afternoon. I would lose my patience if I had to read for more than an hour or two. The book selection was pretty diverse, ranging from novel to magazines to travel guides. It didn't appear that there was any real selective process. Where did you get all these books? You borrowed them? Yeah, you borrowed them? It was unlikely for them to buy books if they had to kidnap me for money. However, there was no library barcode on them either, on top of the fact that they looked quite old. Big Sis gave them to me. She answered without raising her head and kept flipping through the magazine. Big Sis wants me to read more so people won't look down on me in the future. Aww. Well, it's good. You always gotta read like more and more, expand your knowledge, you know? Right. That explanation was unexpected. I thought she would have said educated people were all liars and rich people were all demons. All the talk about the damnable the rich people are, yet she was still wanted to be like them. So, did your big sis go to school? Only till middle school. Oh, she dropped out. Damn. She raised her head with a rare smile on her face. She might not look like it, but big sis had good grades. For real? Good grades. I tried to imagine the girl in a school uniform, and I just couldn't picture her as someone with good grades. And now we rest and get to the next sequence. In the end, I made no progress. She didn't know what was going on, nor was she willing to contact her big sis for me. Oh, really? Oh, come on. Uh-oh. And I felt horrible. My flunkter, excuse me. Hold on, I'm gonna get water. My fluctuating body temperature confirm my theory. That and the muscle soreness indicate a fever. That's not shit. Getting sick now of all the times I couldn't even stay awake, let alone escape. That rhymed. The girl was still reading a book next to the wall, having no clue about all the ideas floating in my mind. She was all by herself with the knife only a few steps away. My hands were still tied up, but I could still move them a little. I could call her over, knock her out, and cut the ropes loose. A sense of unease surfaced along with all sorts of possibilities in my mind. What if she dodged it? What if the door was blocked? Could there be someone else? I didn't see much of a chance to succeed, nor did I have any idea where to start. I also might end up hurting her accidentally. She didn't seem to know what she was doing, nor she had actually threatened me. I should avoid violence against her unless I had no choice. I made up my mind and started to think of other options. Excuse me. Big sis? What? Hearing the girl's voice, I came back to my sense and realized she was staring at me. All sorts of ridiculous ideas intertwined in my brain, and I shouldn't make any rushed decisions with a messy mind.
Do you hate Big Sis?
Who would like their kidnapper? It's not like I had a Stockholm syndrome. I wanted to reply like that, but I kept it down. It didn't matter what I thought. I had to come up with a response that would make her drop her guard based on what she wanted to hear. Saying that I like her might be too much. I should reply with, I don't like her. I don't know. Let's go with I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. She just looked at me after my response. Silence spread across the air like a wall between us. I don't really know her, so I can't say if I really like or hate her.
I see. Big Sis is not a bad person. Really.
She hugged her knees as though trying to convince herself. The quiet voice seemed to lack some confidence.
We just wanted to pay off the debt. We don't really want to do this.
So they really want to pay off a debt. That's all I know from the beginning. Let me look at this. Alright. What a situation, on time, warm, did a video game poster, and it's still funny. Alright, let's go with girl. She believed in her sister, only go smoothly, convinced with her to hug down, meaning, she has a lot. Alright, no, nothing really. The girl's eyes under her bangs were as clear as the lake's surface, voided of any dissent. She never suspected her sister of any other motive or simply using her. After all this, she still chose to believe in Big Sis and try to defend her. Why? Seeing her desperation, I only felt emptiness.
She worked so hard to make money, but they kept coming to her for more, even though it has nothing to do with her.
Huh? She was still murmuring her explanation, yet it annoyed me like a tedious next to my brain. Even though she was gently wanted to persuade me, even though her big sis might have her reasons, I felt nothing. She might not realize it, but I just didn't care. I wanted to escape and return back to my normal life. I didn't care if this big sis was a good or bad person or had a miserable past. Why she committed this crime had nothing to do with me. Seeing her serious expression, I opened my mouth but swallowed my words eventually. I sighed lightly. I couldn't tell if she envied her naiveness or hated my cold heart. Transition. So what now? Remaining acts 3. Alright, let's try chatting again. Young girl. Let's go with you really believe her. Actually, we're cold. Let's see if she can get us something warm. Let's go with I'm cold. So cold. So cold. She made a sound to indicate she heard me. I waited a while before continuing to talk. If only it was a little warmer. With my movements restrained, I had no way to get my information if they didn't talk to me. To get information from her, I needed to find my way to make her talk. After all, telling her directly I want to talk most likely wouldn't work. I want some comment. You really don't talk much, do you? I'll just go with that. You really don't talk much, do you?
No.
One word ended with the conversation. Even I didn't know how to continue. Regardless, our difference in age and background, plus the fact that she was the kidnapper's accomplice. Well, that didn't work. Shit. So what now? Alright, let's go with... you really believe in her. You really believe in her?
Yes, Big Sis is not a bad person.
Yeah, you keep repeating that. I get that. She nodded without hesitation, not realizing she was the one looking, locking me up here. If that didn't count as a bad person, then the standard was just way too loose.
She wouldn't really harm you. She will let you go when she gets the money.
Oh, really? Not the first time I heard it from her, but I still didn't know where the confidence came from.
Yes, she promised me.
Do you believe anything she says? I'll just say that. Do you believe anything she says? I asked her in disbelief. Even though she was still young, such a blind trust was far too ridiculous. Dots. Not harming me. Why do you think I got all these injuries? By accidentally hurting myself? She stared at me with pressed lips, but couldn't deny my words. So what now? There's really nothing to observe, to be honest. Oh, what about a backpack? Have I even clicked on that? I do want to click on that. I really do, but we need our rest. We need our rest, man. We need our rest. Let's just rest. We need our stamina back up. Oh, there we go. That's what's up. I feel fine after I rest. I should ask for more information. Is it gonna be light time? Oh, afternoon. Alright, cool. Noon. She's gonna come back. Oh, I still feel sick. My cloudy consciousness gradually cleared. It looked like I fell asleep without noticing. The sky outside of the window was dyed crimson. The freezing wind brushing against my cheeks made me tremble. I didn't know how long I slept, but my body showed no signs of recovering. The rope cut into my flesh like an ant bite. My struggle out of annoyance only led to torn skin. Oosh, that's not good.
What time is it? 5.
The girl was at the same spot. I thought she was in the other side. All right, at the same side, quite like a delicate porcelain doll.
Why do you keep asking me the time?
Cause that's all you would tell me, right? Knowing the time wouldn't change anything, but the sense of cluelessness was just unbearable. Shit, my head hurts. She was not a good conversation partner, but I tried anyway to keep myself awake. If you buy me coffee, I can give you all the money I have. My heavy head made me say that the most random things like a drunk man.
You like coffee?
She raised her head and stared at me with curiosity. That big sis would have shut me up, but at least she chatted with me here and there. Nothing is more pleasant than drinking coffee in the weather, well, except a hot bath. Usually I like chocolate, I don't like coffee.
I don't. Too bitter.
You learn how to enjoy it. Different coffee beans have different tastes. How you prepare it is also a factor. Excuse me. Filtered drip isn't real coffee at all. Only pour over coffee can bring over the fragrance. There is something wrong with those latte lovers. The only proper coffee is black coffee. They may well as just drink milk. Hearing all my critiques, she made a comment.
You really like to talk.
Do you have a better alternative? Facing my question, she stared at the contemplate seriously.
Just
sleep. I already did that. She spoke timidly, as though fearing that I would scold her. Great idea. Please let me know know how to just sleep with my hands tied and my body hungry and cold. I started coughing before I could respond. I didn't even have the strength to joke around. If this keeps up, I would cough myself to death before they killed me. Living like this was the worse than death. I recalled this line from the book and found it super fitting. Excuse me. Dots. Oh, hell no, you better not. The girl stared at me for a while, then came over carefully with the knife. Don't you worry, I couldn't resist you even you were empty-handed. Ignoring my mockery, she partly squatted before me, and then, I then felt her slightly cold touch.
You have a fever.
No shit! Just let me rest. Thanks for telling me.
Just let me rest. Just let me rest.
Not wanting to waste more energy, I sighed tiredly and closed my eyes. I heard the sound of her stepping back and felt her glance at me with worry. Good, make her worry. And I got my stamina even more up. Night. There was the sound of the bike motor outside of the window. The girl raised her head sharply and ran out to welcome her big sis, so she has a bike. I had no idea where she's been. The girl's hair was still messy and she held plastic bags from a convenience store in her hands.
I'm back. Is everything alright? Big sis.
The little girl wordly explained the status of my body. The big sis frowned upon my hearing it. Excuse me.
Okay, I'll take care of it. You should eat something now.
After calmly patting her little sister's head and asking her to take the plastic bags, the girl coldly looked down on me. Well, it's not my damn fault you got me in this worse condition. Oh, God.
So what's wrong with you now?
Who knows? Food poisoning, maybe? Not wanting to show my weakness before her, I gathered my strength to reply.
If you could still joke around, it probably isn't too bad.
The smell of cigarettes from her made me dizzy. She covered my forehead with the back of her hand. Then she checked my body temperature in a much rougher way than the little girl.
What a fragile body you have here. Rich boy can't take some wind.
Don't you know I'm delicate? Remain silent. I'll just say remain silent. Not wanting to waste more energy, I just quietly watched her examining the rope. She forcefully pulled it, making the rope a bit directly into my flesh. Oosh, my God. Oh, there's my stamina going down. You should care more about my you should care more about me spreading diseases than escaping.
Yeah, I'm not a greenhouse flower like you. This sort of cold is nothing. I still have to work even with a fever. If I take a day off, I might just lose my job the next day. You have no idea, right, rich boy?
I had no idea. Did I give a fuck? I didn't pick the job for you. So, what was the point of complaining about that to me? It was hard to keep your emotions under control when you felt horrible. I decided to change the subject to avoid an argument. Did my dad pay?
Why would I keep you here if he didn't? If he did, excuse me. Do you think I like tying you up?
They did make contact yesterday, so they should have been discussing the details of the ransom. Ignoring her provocation, I forced myself to focus on the intel I had. Common ways were money transfer or cash in the bag. However, money transfers could be traced and physical cash was difficult to arrange. I heard some kidnapping use Bitcoin and other virtual currency instead, more secure and flexible than cash. Even a high schooler with a bag could kidnap someone. The question was how to get out of the situation. Excuse me.
Save your breath and just rest. I have no desire to call a doctor if you pass out.
Thanks for the heads up, dickhead. She had a point. Excuse me. I should have find more things to torture myself with the outside of just my body. I'd try to lean back and let the wall take some of the weight. This was more comfortable pose than I thought I had in the past few days. But it only made me feel just a little bit better, far from having a good rest.
Sis, can I have all these?
The girl took out all the kinds of food from the bag. Bread, cookies, and steaming hot Odin. The smell of... the smell only made my headaches worse.
I already had dinner, so you just dig in.
She replied softly, treating her in a totally different manner. Hey, it is one thing to not share your food, but of all the foods you could pick, The little girl stopped moving her chopsticks and looked at her sister with a pleading expression, as though asking her what to do.
Isn't it only fair we were eating instant ramen when you were having a feast? There is no way those sorts of cheap foods are to your taste.
Excuse me. What the hell? Hearing from the nonsensical accusation, I was too exhausted to retort.
What? Say something.
Oh, I want to say something now, dunce. Is there an option? I've had enough. The fierce headache took away the last of my patience. Her provoking expression finally made me lose control of my emotion. Headbutt, bitch! Right. I'm a rich boy who lives in a giant mansion, rinses my mouth with expensive wine, and has dozens of maids and butlers. A snap of my fingers, and someone will bring me whatever I want. I smash the plate to the ground after 2 bites, then whine about what kind of crowd this is. Someone drives me to school every day. I have an LV bag and Rolex watches. All my accessories from the top to the bottom cost millions of Taiwan dollars, and your poor ass can never ever even afford one of them. How's that? Is that what you had in mind? Dots. There was no thought behind those words, just my accumulated rage and frustration coming out like a flood. I was tired of this conversation. There was no middle ground. They forced their imaginative perception upon me and totally ignored what they had seen. You don't know shit about me, nor you don't give a fuck. From the very beginning, you have to decide to hate me just because I live a better life than you. All rich people should die. All of them are trash that can't help themselves from running over people with their fancy cars, right? So cut the bullshit if you don't know anything. The blood rushed. Oh, that got my blood rushing. I'm not gonna lie. The blood all rushed into my head. I was close to passing out from the headache, but yelled at the top of my lungs anyways. The rooms echoed with my sound. The little girl curled up next to the wall with a scared expression, as though I wasn't tied up. Oh, hell no. Oh, shit. Hold on. Thumbnail, bitches. Thumbnail. Yes. Alright.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Her eyes flashed with raging fire, and she yelled back at me with an equal force. Unlike the weakness the little girl showed, the big sis stood up forcefully.
Have you ever felt hungry? Ever worried where to sleep at night? Ever had someone burst open your door to collect your debt? I don't know shit about you, then what the fuck do you know about me, huh?
Okay, that's a good picture actually right there. Oh, okay, there we go. Excuse me. Oh, I gotta get my voice. Alright.
Do you know what we were dealing with when you were going to school? Or when you were sleeping?
I like the music that goes with it. It goes to intensity.
That's why I hate you a lot.
Hate you a lot. You forgot a lot. Alright.
By what right can you live like that? But what right can you speak like that? You don't care about us, because it's none of your business.
Yes, it isn't! I didn't care what would happen to me. I just wanted to vent all my frustrations from my chest. So should I feel guilty for Siberian refugees? Feel responsible for ISIS? Give me a break! Why would I feel responsible for your life? Why should I kneel before you and apologize? I have nothing to do with your poverty. Ooh!
And it is my fault?
Yeah, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know. Oh, that rage though. That rage. Oh, what happened to the music? Da-da-da-dots. Her raised fist smashed against the wall. The girl's roar was mixed with sobbing. Oh, she's crying. Her voice echoed through the room. Everything seemed to stop at the moment. Her face was twisted with rage, with lips turned blood red. Oosh, from biting. I could also see her hand trembling.
You think I enjoy this?
You think I don't want to live better? I fucking wish I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Why can't some people have the comfortable life without doing anything? Why does my life have to be a living hell? Tell me! Facing the girl's emotional accusations, I couldn't respond immediately. It was neither our faults. It wasn't even about any individual, but something that wasn't decided before our births. No reason, no explanation. The world just isn't fair. Remembering what she said before, I repeated it. Hearing that, the girl burst into laughter. Oh, come on, there's too many good thumbnails here, but I like to smash them out. I think I'm gonna keep that, but I'm gonna keep this in case still. I really like the soundtrack in this, I'm not gonna lie. Hearing that, the girl burst into laughter. It sounded relaxed, yet mocking. A mysterious, crazy laughter.
Yes, the world isn't fair. So none of us should complain about what happens in this goddamn world, right?
Dots. Not able to find any words, I averted my gaze. Woo! That got me fucking boiled up. That's the truth. Oh, he's coughing. All right. Exhaustion took over me once I calmed down. I could barely talk when I leaned against the wall weakly. Chill. Someone might call the cops if you yell this loud. She looked at me over her shoulder, then clicked her tongue unhappily.
Shut up! I don't want to beat up a dying person.
How nice of you. I said half jokingly, feeling much more relaxed after releasing all my pent-up thoughts. Oh, shit. I couldn't focus my eyes anymore. Enduring my fluctuating body temperature, I powerlessly closed my eyes. There was only everlasting loneliness in the darkness. Dots. Ellipses. Tired. Cold. How much longer before this was over? Would I be free if I just gave up? Could I just let it all go and sleep forever? Transition.
It is hot.
I missed, and the cloudiness, an icy hand covered my forehead. I had no strength to open my eyes, and I could only identify the speakers from their voice.
What a pussy. Acting like a dying man just because of a cold.
Oh, you dick. Easy for you to say. I deserve some credit for remaining sane after being kidnapped and treated like this.
Big sis, will he die?
Hearing the mumbling from the little girl, I realized how my senses became sharper after I closed my eyes. Even the air temperature felt extra vivid. There was another hand on my forehead, along with the scent of cigarettes.
It takes more than that to kill someone.
Despite her words, there was a doubt in her voice. Dots. It only took a while before I heard her voice again.
Look after him for me. I'll be right back.
She's gonna get him medicine. Click, dut, dut. I suddenly felt a weight on my body. A soft cotton blanket held in my body heat, making me feel much warmer. I could sense the girl next to me with her gaze and maybe even her breathing. Her eyes were closed, but I felt her gaze. No. It was probably just my imagination. I couldn't connect the broken thoughts in my mind. I passed out again. Dots. Ah, you're back. Oh, it's her again. I think that's his mom. Mommy needs to head out and take care of something. So, have dinner without me. You can eat whatever you like. Lies. If Daddy calls... Oh, this is from the very beginning. Just tell him I'm in class. If Daddy calls, just tell him I'm in class, okay? What? I'm confused. Liar. Be a good boy, okay? The laughter of an unknown man, hurried footsteps, and the sound of an engine starting. What? After removing my shoes, I found myself in an empty living room. Oh, shit. Wait, did the mom left with some different guy? Did she just cheat it? And oh, shit, alright. Everything's starting to make sense. I lay down on the sofa. My mind was blank while I stared at the hanging chandelier. I realize now that this is This house was too big. So huge that it made me feel lonely. Transition. I like how it does that every time. Back at the scene of the crime, there was no one in the dark alleyway. Our narrator, the cold moonlight shined upon the fenced construction site. The criminals always returned to the scene of the crime, and foolish notion, but there was no exception. One couldn't bear the self-doubt even when ignoring others' gazes. Was there any evidence left behind? Had the cops started taking action? Oh shit, wait, did he die? Oh my god, wait, whoa, hold up. The girl took a deep breath while lighting up a cigarette. The heavy scent permeated her nose, but wasn't enough to erase the unease. She took out a newly bought cold medicine from her pocket. She wasn't sure why she did that. There you go, she's starting to care. She didn't care about the boy's survival. She didn't even intend to let him leave here alive. It was only now then she realized murdering someone was not easy. He was no longer just a thing. Once you talked to and touched him, he was a living person. Dots. It was time to head back. She decided not to think further. She also hadn't slept properly for days now, just relying on nicotine and alcohol, But she had only kept going. For the ideal life she and her only family deserved. Transition. Woo! Day 4, The Mist. Alright, I'm going to leave it off right here for right now, guys. This has been a good, long enough episode, because I think it's going to keep continuing like this. And this is why this type of thing always keeps me long and too many other projects going live. So without further ado, we're going to find out what's going to happen on Day 4, Mist, and what the narrator was talking about with the maiden hunching something, I don't know. But yeah, so without further ado, I hope you guys have a good night, good evening, good morning from wherever you're from. So peace out and sayonara. Bye-bye. I hope you guys really enjoyed the wait.